Welcome back, guys. Well, they dropped rates 50 BPS. Oh my God, it's chaos and bedlam in the real estate market, in the mortgage industry. Not really, actually, right now. We're gonna see how it shakes out, but a very surprising move on their end. I don't know if that's more of a telling situation on what's about to come. Doing a drop that dramatic, to me, is not necessarily a good sign. But people have been asking me, what are the ramifications, what are the implications for real estate in my area with something like this. Now, as many of you guys probably know, mortgage rates slightly ticked up yesterday, which surprised some people, but not too many. This has kind of been priced in on the mortgage rate market for a while. So I don't know if we're gonna see mortgage rates, drop drastically immediately. I don't know how many more cuts they've got coming. Again, my stance on it is what is going on in the broader areas of the economy? Because right now, especially where I am here in Punta Gorda Isles, as you guys know, we're finally starting to see meaningful price declines and things sort of return back to reality. So to start cutting rates right now, a little disappointing for me to see. I don't think we're going to, know the immediate effects of it here for several months, just like as they raised them. It took a long time to come into focus, but not really what I wanted to see. I thought, price declines were really just starting to settle in here. Now I'm worried we stabilize or we don't see any more price declines. But again, that all depends on the broader economy. And you guys know, I am not a financial advisor. I'm not an economist. I have no idea what's going on. But in the short term, as I've told you guys, what I've seen and what people are telling me around the area, specifically builders and sellers, is that the perception of this, even if it's already baked into mortgage rates and they might not move as much, the perception is what it's all about, guys. Perception is reality. You guys know the phrase, buy the rumor, sell the news. So a lot of sellers who have been on the sidelines looking to relist are considering coming back at higher prices. I don't think that's a very good strategy, but I'm not, I can only control what I can control. The perception for buyers as well is now, oh, well, maybe now's the time to jump in if I've been waiting, or could be the inverse. Oh, maybe now's not the time to jump in if I've been waiting because they could go even lower. So a lot of things at play here, a lot of factors still up in the air, and we'll see how it shakes out. But I don't think it's gonna cause a meaningful spike in real estate values immediately, especially in this area when we're still flooded with inventory. Now, I've shown you guys the numbers for this area in Punta Gorda Isles. I'm actually down in the southernmost part of Punta Gorda Isles today, was down showing some friends from the channel, quite a few waterfront homes over the past 2 days, and it got me thinking of something that I don't really bring up about this area. I've brought it up in my last video with the sweat equity, but a big issue here is not only the tremendous pricing, but as I've told you guys, updating. The updates required at these prices, even in the luxury market here, can be astronomical. Really, as you guys can see, most of these roofs look brand new. So you're automatically at a disadvantage if you're looking to sell and you don't have one around here, because most likely the last time it got replaced is Hurricane Charlie in 2004. And that's not gonna cut it for most insurance companies, guys. That doesn't matter if it's tile, if it's metal, that may be a problem. And a lot of people sort of forget to factor that in to their pricing structure. It's gonna make a big deal because when you have 2,000, 3,000 square foot houses, I mean, very easily, you could potentially get up into 6 digits on a roof replacement. It's very quickly, guys. So at the prices here, that's why stuff is languishing as well. And a lot of the homes we went into, it was not uncommon to see $200,000-$300,000 price drops. One house we went into dropped $75,000. It was $750,000, dropped $75,000 in the first 5 days. They knew that they were way out of line. This place needed so much work. They actually asked me, what's the land worth? That's how bad it was. And it's still sitting there, it's still dropping, but that's how quickly reality's setting in for people here. Obviously, you don't just focus on the roof. You have to worry about hurricane protection as well, guys. And if you don't have proper hurricane protection down here, your insurance is gonna be kind of nuts. So if a house is being sold without either full shutters or impact windows, one way or the other, you've got to put that in your pricing. I don't care how short of a trip it is out to the harbor. I don't care if it's sailboat water. It's going to affect it, which And most people have not been pricing that in because they haven't had to. So that is another reason you're seeing these enormous price drops around this area where you're not really seeing anywhere else. Because back during the pandemic, you could slap anything on there. They didn't care about the repairs. But now all this stuff with the new insurance problems is being heavily scrutinized. The other thing is when you have, you know, a 2,500, 2,800 square foot house that maybe the owners have aged out of, because that's happening a lot down here. A lot of owners just are getting to an age where they have to move back up north with family, or they pass on. That's not to be rude. That's what happens here, guys. I mean, it's the age demographic. And the house was great. They took great care of it. It is structurally updated. It's got a new roof. It's got hurricane impact windows. It's spotless, but the tile is from 30 years ago. The cabinets are from 30 years ago. That's another issue you run into that they're not really considering pricing wise here, because you can walk into a house that's asking $900,000 and very quickly turn around when you consider 2,500 square feet of just tile and various kitchens and bathrooms, and you could be looking at hundreds of thousands of dollars to upgrade it, and that's not priced in. So that brings me back to that sweat equity. It's not priced to give anybody the room to put the elbow grease in and feel good about it at the end of the day. Not to mention, 2,500 square foot house, a lot of people don't want to take that on. You know, we're not selling to 30-year-olds down here in Punta Gorda Isles, guys. They're not buying. It's retirees who either don't want to put in that kind of work. They've done that before. They did it on their previous house. They put in the sweat equity and they've reaped the benefits. Now they want to come here. They don't want to do it again. And quite frankly, it's not that common that any of them are going to want a 3,000 square foot house either for generally two people. So that's why this area is kind of unique. And it's not just, sometimes I only focus on the crazy pricing and the price declines, but there's all these other variances to compare about it. How protected is it? Who's the market? Who wants a house this big? How many structural updates does it have? What is left here to do cosmetically? So, and in this area, unfortunately, people put the houses the way they like them. Like I said, they took very good care of them, but they put the houses the way they liked them, and that was it. They said, hey, this is how I want the house. I'm gonna die here, and they left it that way. Now, 30 years go by, and the kids or they want to sell it, and they don't understand why nobody wants to pay for outdated designs. I mean, especially when you have, you know, you've got newer homes everywhere. I mean, these guys are building one across the street. Are they more pricey? Yes, but people will be willing to do the work if you price appropriately. So my stance for anyone buying here, really anywhere in Florida right now, has been make sure, just from an insurability standpoint, that's where you want, what you want to focus on right now. Is the house hurricane protected? Is the roof new? What is the type of house? Is it built stick? Is it built solid concrete? Is it built concrete block? Are there impact windows? You know, that's the kind of things to focus on. Is the HVAC new? The structurals is where I'm directing, you know, customers and friends of the channel to focus on. Even though I'm telling you, they're not really priced to fix cosmetic updates. They're gonna get there because they're sitting on the market and they're not selling. You know, it used to be, and a lot of people do purchase this way in a lot of areas of the country. People purchase based on cosmetic image, which is really unfortunate, and how a lot of flippers down here got away with the horrible work that they did. The Home Depot special, I mean, just caulk around everything to hide every problem, because sometimes when you walk in and something wows you, like, oh, that's granite, that's quartz, oh my God, it looks great, and people get focused on that and don't forget that the roof is 30 years old. You know, so I'll tell you what, you're gonna want that lower insurance bill. Do the kitchen yourself later. That's my opinion. You gotta really focus on the insurability of these things in Florida and a lot of places around the country now, just how crazy things have gone. So that's again why I push new construction all the time. It just kind of eliminates that. Not to say that all new construction is amazing and is built to the same quality, but there is some element of insurance variability that gets taken out of there. And like some commenters mentioned, all it takes is one seller, guys. One seller to get the memo. And we did show almost a dozen houses, and one we showed was a great location. It was properly priced. It had all the updates that were required. I was like, oh, here we go. Great. Finally, someone being reasonable. And is it more than you would have paid 2 years ago, 3 years ago? Absolutely. But the other issue is the junk that's out there is, even if you think this house is overpriced, is making it look like a great deal. And once this house sells, which is now a great deal, gonna drag all the comps down. So it only takes a couple of sellers in the area to get the memo, just want to sell the house for a reasonable market rate and move on. And then everything that's been languishing on the market, all of a sudden their comps get destroyed. Happens very quickly. We've been seeing it happen all summer. So that's what's also been dragging prices down, which is another reason I'm still upset about this 50 BPS drop. Like, we're just getting rolling, you know? And like I said, guys, it's all about perception with that. I had people call me and say, 50 BPS rate drop, your channel's dead. And I'm like, well, my channel's not about real estate market crashing necessarily. I know that is, you know, a lot of the themes here, but if the prices go back up, guys, I'm gonna come and tell you that the prices are going back up. We're gonna look at the same charts. I'm gonna show you the same data. It is what it is. I can't create the narrative. So I thought that was a little preemptive and odd, but again, the perception that it creates for sellers is people can afford more. The perception it creates for buyers is I can afford more. And I get worried that this inflation is going to come back rampantly after this, because for 2 years now, as crazy as it sounds, to have a $1,000 car payment, to have a $2,500 average mortgage, people have been doing it. So they've gotten accustomed, your grocery bills, people have gotten accustomed and found ways to work around and live in this environment. And now you're going to loosen, you know, you're gonna come off the throttle a little bit. And I think people who have now adjusted, that's just gonna give them a little more rope to put themselves out there and probably get in a worse situation. I mean, you know, what does this do? Does this make people more willing to take some more credit card debt out? Will somebody go for that car that was gonna be a $1,000 car payment, now it's $900? I unfortunately think that yes, in a lot of cases, we are gonna see instances of that, and I worry the same thing with housing, and inflation will go back up. But those are just my personal opinions. Like I said, nobody knows what's gonna happen. Yeah, I'm filming a YouTube video. Real estate. Yeah. I'm shooting me, I'm not shooting you.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted...
No, I know, it's weird, it's guy walking, I get it.
We watch out for our neighbors.
Oh no, that's perfectly understandable. Totally get it. Yeah, it's weird, a guy walking around with a camera. I do walking YouTube real estate commentary. So I'm done though. But I appreciate you checking in. No, I get it, totally.
I got neighbors that got the cameras. They're going to be like, hey.
I know, sometimes I end up all over next door. I get it. No ill intentions though. I get it. See, that's what you want, guys. You want somebody coming out and checking who's the weird guy with the camera, and that's PGI for you. You know, they're going to keep an eye on you, like she said. They're going to keep an eye on the neighbors. And that's good. That's good. I respect it. So, short one today, guys. If you like this video, give me a like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.